Okay, today we cover personal administration and the concepts in personal administration and how it is connected with other parts of SAP. Uh, it's pretty straightforward. Personal administration has quite a lot to do with organizational management, how it is laid out and how it is connected with all other areas like capacity planning, which is for production planning, training and event management, that is coming from HCM, workflows, compensation management, FICO for payroll, taxation calculation. Okay. Shift planning, again, this is for HCM, personal cost planning. This is for budgeting the workforce for the next one season or 1 year, whatever the case may be. So in personal administration, what we'll see is master data, structures, infotypes, actions, features, integration. And we will be able to understand what these areas are. In organizational assignment, we have personal development. In organizational assignment, of course, we have areas, work areas, departments where this employee will be placed and shifted to. So it actually comes under personal development. And then address and tax information is also related with payroll because each jurisdiction, location, residence, or bank account has an effect on the payroll. Every area place in the US has a different taxation slab as per the position, as per the location, as per the jurisdiction of the state and the county that person is working in and residing in. Okay. Family. A family basically it affects recruitments because if a person is on a rotational job of 28 days or 40 days, then of course the preference of the person will be to work near his family location. That person cannot be actually placed at a remote place for longer periods. So family is basically affecting and influencing recruitments. Work schedule, again, work schedule for young age people will be different than people who are now at a senior level because young people can be shifted and rotated around the clock if we are talking about oil and gas industry, while mature and uh, senior workforce, their timing gets restricted as with the time passage because, of course, mobility is affected. Health issues can actually come up. Next is the use of master data is different for every instance as a person working for the factory in the factory will have a different organization setup to work in, while a person who is working at a corporate sector will have a different approach and view, and the structure will be different also. The personal actions basically it is a collection of all the activity that is happening with the employee, like hiring, promotion, training, placement, job description, and shift, time shift, rotation, everything. These become personal actions. The actions that are being taken on the position, on the job, on the person are personal actions. So personal actions are collected at one place for a specific department or a role or employee group or subgroup. Okay. HR structures. Now, how do you want to lay out the structures of a company? It can be different for every company from location to location, from client to client. Okay. Enterprise can be located at any of these places and personals will be treated differently under various categories. So enterprise structure, is different from company to company. So the layout, the configuration in SAP for HCM will be different as well. As we see over here, we have company code, and then we have personal areas, which are geographical locations, and then we have sub areas. Okay, these can be factory and office, or these can be departments as such. Then we have personal structure. First, enterprise structure, and then personal structure. Personal structure can be different based on roles, based on departments, and based on units. Okay, so these are ways to classify employees and segment employee groups. So what are employee groups? Now, we have actually seen in the configuration that we have like 3 to 4 types of employee groups. Okay. And employee groups are then further divided into subgroups. Now, subgroups will be, employee group is active. Under that, we will have different subgroups like press, journalist, permanent, clerical, and so on. And this is what the consultant and the client have to sit down and decide. So we've studied enterprise structure, okay, personal structure, employee groups and subgroups, and now payroll area, 4 areas. Employee structure, okay. Then we have um, employee groups. Sorry, enterprise structure, personal structure, employee groups, and then payroll area. Now, payroll areas can be different for every segmentation and category that we have defined. Some people will get paid on 10th, some people get paid on 28th based on their job role or department or personal sub area. Yeah, like factory or office will have different payroll cycles. So organizational units basically are laid out to the molecular subunit level. And jobs are basically the description of how the positions will be run and occupied. So in every part of our organizational unit assignment, we have 3 structures. Enterprise structure, which is like company code. Personal structure is personal area and personal sub area, and employee group, employee subgroup. Okay. So our employee group is active and subgroups are hourly and salaried. Okay. And then we have organization structure, which department will, based on the payroll, it will be decided. Okay. I hope this is clear. Then we have groupings, personal sub-area groupings, employee sub-area groupings. The personal sub-area means that this is personal area, then this is personal sub-area. This can be factory or office, okay? But over here, it's much more in a different way because it differs and varies from client to client. Employees group is active, employee subgroup is salaried, hourly, clerical, working journalist. Personal sub areas. Now, personal areas are active and personal sub areas are, oh, sorry, personal area are geographical and personal sub areas are like factory and office. And each sub area will have its own holiday calendar, wage types, time roster, and info types for basic pay. The basic pays will be different as well. Employee group is active and subgroups will be different and they will have their own scale groups, payrolls, wage types, every subgroup. Now, subgroup is hourly and salary. Okay. Work schedules. Now, coming to info types. Now, info types are basically the heart and soul of HR. So, if you talk about info types for an employee, what are info types? Info types are nothing but features. So, every employee can be distinguished by family, his address, his organizational assignment, bank details, and actions. Actions are hiring, firing, retirement, training, promotion, demotion. Okay. So these all actually are features that describe an employee. Okay. And that are called info types in HR. So there are thousands of info types in HCM, and these are coded like tetra zero is actions, 0001 is organizational assignment, personal data is 0002, payroll status is 0003, and so on. We will see in the system how it is actually laid out. So info types, or a collection of info types, becomes info group, and info groups combined together become personal actions. Okay, so we have multiple info types that we will be performing on employees to adjust them within positions, within units. So every actions will have statuses. Now statuses can be released, approved, disapproved, pending review. These are statuses. Okay. So actions will be like, as I've told you, hiring, firing, retiring, promotion, and that can be coded as well. And this can be approved or permanent or temporary. That depends. Okay. Assignment, yes. Assignment means organizational unit assignment, where the person is located and placed. What is the personnel sub area? Okay. What is the payroll area? Okay. Personal data, of course, it requires personal data is another info type which requires details like name, address, first name, last name, suffix, qualification, and date of birth, and so on. Okay. Payroll status. What is a payroll? Hourly or salary? Now that is employee subgroup. Okay. Employee subgroup, hourly or salaried. That will be a part of info type payroll status. Time constraints. Now, time constraints are different. It has different implications. Like time constraint one has that the record cannot have any gaps, like qualification, continuous. Time constraint two is that a person had multiple experiences and those experiences had gaps. That can be time constraint two. Time constraint three is that they can be multiple gaps and overlapping as well. Okay, because like a project manager managing three projects at a time is overlapping of different projects. So there are multiple info types that we'll work on and develop and configure at the back end. Okay. So it's not uh, rocket science to develop and configure info types. Okay. There are many info types that we'll look into. Okay. And all info type groups become and combine together become personal actions. As you see over here, hiring, promotion, okay, transfer, segmentation, termination, and these are actions that are being taken place. Okay. And we will actually see additional info types like 0302, where a person is promoted from wage rate to salaried, or info type will add a family member to already family details that are entered. Okay, the action type is additional to family. So these are actions that being taken. Okay, and of course, these will be seen in the configuration and the front end that we'll be working on. Okay, to activate additional info types, we will run this report. Okay, in the system. Now, these are again info types, contract elements, monitoring of dates. Now, these are additional info types that we are looking at. Okay. Um, Master data, of course, these are some of the areas like number ranges and how these number ranges actually get assigned to employees that we'll see, okay, in the configuration. And features basically are objects within personal administration that determine automatic default values like numbering range. I mean, for example, a numbering range is starting from 88 for a specific department. Another department is number 10. Their employee numbers will start with 10. So that will mean they are coming from a different department or a different area, personal area, and so on. Okay. So the integrations that we'll see will be happening with payroll, organizational management, recruitment, personal development, and training. So we'll be looking into this very deeply. And that was all for